Hello there everyone, it's Sarah here, the able diabetic, here with another episode of Every Day is Different, which is really what it's all about when you're a type 1 diabetic. Not only every day, but every hour, every minute, as your blood sugars move around. So today I'm going to talk about a day of some celebration, which was the reason for the ups and downs in this particular case. Recently, my partner and I, Jim, marked 20 years together when we met in Bangkok, and that day we went out for lunch together, so had kind of relatively big thing there, and then in the evening we celebrated with our children. So this is how that day looked. So as you can see from this graph of this particular day, the day really does split into three really distinct phases, and phase one is through the morning. Very, very under control morning. It was a completely normal morning. All I did was kind of stay at home, do some work, sit at a desk. So nothing particularly active going on. And actually on this particular day, I didn't have any breakfast, which is something I quite commonly do. It keeps my blood sugar stable during the morning, so I find that works quite nicely. But you can see that there's a really pretty considerable peak at lunchtime. Went out for lunch somewhere local, but did have a bit of a carby lunch. We had some pizza, so there's an unusually high peak for lunchtime for me. And then moving on into the evening, things really kind of go, quite a lot more AWOL. Because there's a significant peak, and that was driven by a couple of things going on. First of all, we had a fairly large meal with the kids. Here at home actually, but it was still kind of celebratory in nature, and there was alcohol involved as well. Jim and I shared a bottle of bubbly together, so that tends to have a bit of an impact. But the real thing here is just kind of quantity and the kind of exuberance of the day. Very, very kind of clear in the picture of the bloods, unusually so, I have to say. So hopefully that's kind of an interesting little insight. The purpose of these little films is to show people what it's like to live with type 1 diabetes. And I think, on this occasion, you can really clearly see what was happening that day and how it impacted the blood sugar profile. Certainly, higher than I should be, in a kind of perfect control zone, definitely out of that zone. But life is for living, and I'm pretty glad that we celebrated that day.